Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Grumpy Old Radio Hour. Tonight's story is brought to you by Foley artist Philip Bernhardt, narrator Ryan Scribner, with voices by Dave Van Kirk. Tonight we bring you Whitebeard versus the Holy Church.
It was the dark night. The storm had settled in. And then the storm died down. Sitting alone in the mansion, Wilhelm Proudpop thought to himself and wrote in his memoirs.
Dearest older Wilhelm Proudpop, that is me who I am writing to. Tonight was one for the books. I really got one over on the congregation, but I'm afraid Imogene Snarple has seen too much.
Meanwhile, in another room of the mansion, Imogene Snarple wrote in her diary.
Dear Diary, I have seen way too much tonight. Wilhelm, supposedly reverend over his congregation, was seen taking the donations and giving them to a lady of the night.
In the corner, the lady of the night, Mrs. Bubbles Fluster, wearily and exhaustedly said her evening prayer.
Oh, dear Jesus. Please forgive me for what I have done. You must know, I realize I type all of my prayers out as I read them, just for historical purposes. And I will mail this to heaven as soon as the storm dies down. But what I did out of love for the children. Please forgive me.
One single dog outside, still tied to his chain, wiled away. Apparently the dog had a bone that he had been gnawing on for several days and just found the juicy meaty parts. Good job, dog. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Rowan Andrade prepared the meal for the next morning, and he thought to himself of all the things he'd seen.
Well, first I need these. I've got to get this jar of pickles open. Oh, this is a tough one. I don't know if I can do this. Yep, a few punches, that did it. I gotta punch that jar right open. All right, I have pickles, and I'll have to get the. I've got to boil some eggs. I'll get that hot water going. You know, people say a watch pot never boils. Boy, is that true.
2 hours later.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna fry these eggs up tomorrow. Okay, let me move on. I'm gonna see about. Oh, you know what the kids need? The kids need a nice, healthy protein shake. I think I'm gonna mince all this mint. All right, I got the mint. Now I've got to wash the lettuce first. We've got to wash lettuce because lettuce can have dirt and bugs on it, and the kids don't need any of that. So I've got to wash this lettuce. Washy, scrub. All right, now I got to chop the lettuce. Oh, that water's still not boiled. All right.
Suddenly, Cameron Kabloosh burst into the kitchen and began arguing with Rowan Andrade.
Hey, Rowan, what the hell do you think you're doing, man? You can't be in here making all this noise. It's late at night and there's thunder out. I'm sorry, Cameron, but I'm doing what I can do for the children. You know, the children of this holy church must be fed every morning. I don't care about any of that, Rowan. I'm sick and tired of this. My job here as groundskeeper of the holy church lets me have all these pitchforks, and I'm gonna go ahead and murder you right now for making too much. But no, Cameron, you must not murder me. First of all, this is a church. But what are you doing? I don't care whatever. Nobody can stop me. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, a slap fight began.
You knocked out my pitchfork. All right, fine. Slaps it is. Yeah, take that. All right, you take that. All right. Well, I mean, all right. I'm gonna do here's a double slap. Oh, you son of a bitch! All right, throat slap. I can't breathe anymore. I'm dying.
Suddenly, Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod entered the kitchen.
Hey, it's Gregory MacLeod entering the kitchen. What the hell is going on in here? I don't know what to say, Mr. Whitebeard. Cameron came in here. He said I was making too much. You shut up, Rowan Andrade. You're lucky to have this job. You know who I am and what I do. Sir, I do. You are the Whitebeard. You run this this sect of the Church of the Holy Church, and you employ us all, including Wilhelm, who is the quote-unquote reverend. I know what I do. You know what you're gonna do?
Meanwhile, Cameron's corpse, or almost corpse, on the ground began making strange noises. It was as though something was crawling out of Cameron's corpse.
Rowan, what's that crawling out of his corpse? I do not know, sir. I've never seen anything like this.
This creature that crawled out of the corpse let out a hideous howl.
Oh.
And a second one that was more hideous. A third one that was even more hideous.
Do you know what this means, Rowan? No, I do not. I mean, it means we probably should clean the kitchen. This cannot be up to the... Shut up! This means that there is no God. This means that hounds from hell exist. Monsters from outer space or from where else. I never did check Cameron's curriculum vitae. We don't know where he was really from. But I suspect...
Meanwhile, Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop charged down the stairs. You could hear him from a mile away coming down the stairs. Hooves for feet. He burst into the kitchen.
So, we're all here together. Hey, my water is finally boiling. I can get down those eggs.
This is the perfect time for a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mikey's Peanut Crackers. Have you got peanuts that you don't know how to crack? Call Mikey. He'll crack them for you. Mikey's Peanut Crackers, located on the corner of Main Street and Easy Living. Thank you. Back to our show. The water had boiled. The steam filled the air. Steam made a sound that sounded like this. It was an eerie, creaky, creepy sound. Cameron's corpse had disintegrated into dust. The Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop and his hooven feet was standing there in the kitchen next to Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod and Rowan Andrade, the cook / secret man.
You know what, folks? I'm gonna go. This seems like a situation for you, Mr. Proudpop, and you, Whitebeard. I'm just gonna step out and maybe have a cigarette. Fine, go, you coward. It's Wilhelm. I wanted to talk to you anyway. Wilhelm, do you see what's going on with Cameron's corpse? I do see what's going on with Cameron's corpse. It is a sign from God, obviously. Sign from God! It's a sign from space!
It's his Russian accent when he'd gained his hooves.
MacLeod, you must never speak what goes on here. Cameron is not a real person. Cameron is something bigger than that.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Bubbles Fluster, in her room, she had just begun to jazzercise. Music played in the background. Imogene Snopple burst into the room and turned off the music.
Jazzercise? Is that how you feel like you'll win him back, do you? By getting in shape? Well, let me tell you something, sister. I know what you've been doing. Imogene Snopple's been all over this place. We know exactly
The f*** broke into the background.
That's right, be warned, Mrs. Bubbles Fluster. The children will have a reckoning, and that reckoning's name is Imogene Snarple.
Back the kitchen. Cameron's corpse had been cleaned. Rowan Andrade was outside smoking his cigarette in the rain. Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop in his hooven feet and no longer Russian accent was arguing loudly with Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod.
You must not go to the Holy Church Board with this information. I can go anywhere I want to. They've got to know that they're worshiping false gods, that we need to pray to our alien saviors to take us from this dirty place they call Earth.
Imogene Snarple and Mrs. Bubbles Fluster began arguing vehemently while the jazzercise music played in the background ominously.
Those kids will never know the truth. They will never know the sacrifices that I've put both my mind and my body to. Wilhelm may not be a careful lover, but he knows what to do when necessary. And that is why I must stab you. Stab, 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 stab.
Blood spurted from Imogene Snarple's lower abdomen.
Not my lower abdomen, blood.
Oh, it popped repeatedly. It popped violently. And meanwhile, the music was still going in the background.
Stab, and 1 and 2 and stab, and 3 and 4 and stab, and 5 and stab, and stab, stab, stab. Take a break.
Meanwhile, Imogene Snuffle's corpse started to make an eerie sound.
Oh shit! Another alien! Wilhelm!
The creature crawled out from Imogene Snarple's corpse, and it made an odd and ominous howl. And it made an even more ominous howl.
Wilhelm, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's crawling up my body in a rat. There goes 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Rowan Andrade had come back from a cigarette to find Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop standing over the beaten body of Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod.
Yeah, I did not expect this, but you know what? They don't pay me to ask questions, so this is my kitchen though. So do you need me to clean this up, Mr. Proudpop?
Yes, and if you could be quick about it.
Sure, no problem. I mean, it's your bill, and I'm happy to see that you get paid it. I'm sorry, Mr. Whitebeard, but you're going to the refuse. Out you go. All right, I'll put you in the wheelbarrow.
It was a silent wheelbarrow.
I'm so glad I oiled this wheelbarrow today. Yesterday it was making terrible. Well, you know, if you don't use the best doesn't happen.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Bubbles Fluster was not quite feeling herself as she came downstairs towards the kitchen.
Oh, yes. I see, Wilhelm. You've got to understand that I'm feeling not myself now.
What do you mean? Not yourself.
Well, I had a quote-unquote talk with Imogene, Miss Imogene Snarple, and whatever is inside her is now inside me.
Meanwhile, outside, Rowan Andrade was staring at Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod when suddenly Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod woke up.
Oh, wow. Well, you were knocked out pretty good, Mr. MacLeod. But here you are at the trash, and I'm going to throw you out. Not before I throw you out! Karate chop! Whoa! Ow! That pretty much hurt. You know what? This is not worth it. I'm just gonna go walk off in the woods for a while.
Immediately, when Rowan Andrade walked into the woods, a large bear attacked.
Is that the bear? Oh.
The bear easily and slurpily chewed down Rowan Andrade. But Rowan kept speaking as the bear digested him.
I really wish, it's one thing to be getting eaten by a bear, but another thing to be eaten by a bear without teeth. It's kind of humiliating, but it's just going to be slowly digested, I guess.
Back into the kitchen, Mrs. Bubbles Fluster was making goo-goo eyes at Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop.
Reverend, I'm going to ask you to open your mouth.
All right. For you, but just to prove that these aliens, or should I say make-em-ups, are not real, that there is only one true and uniting force in this universe. And
Mr. Wilhelm Proudpop's fake tan was evident as his floppy hair was flopping in the wind in the kitchen.
So yes, I will just open up my mouth and also pull this derringer out on you. Bang! As I actually click the gun.
The Behringer fired out 7 shots.
You missed.
For good measure.
Now that one got her.
Mrs. Bubbles Fluster sank to the ground. She made an odd noise as she fell. It was as though her bones just fell right out of her body as she fell down to the ground. Meanwhile, an odd creature crawled out from Miss Bubbles' fluster, and it made an ominous howl. And then a more ominous howl.
Alright. Now listen, creature. Listen. Perhaps we can make a deal. You scratch my back and I'll do your bidding as my alien master. But I have to have control of this church.
Suddenly, Gregory Whitebeard MacLeod burst into the kitchen from outdoors with his sword gleaming and glistening with rainwater, and he swung it and murdered Reverend Wilhelm Proudpop and the evil alien.
That's what you get? You dirty, no good heathens. I guess I could go for some jazzercise, I guess, to really bring me down.
Mrs. Bubbles Fluster's jazzercise music kicked back on.
And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 4 and 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Grumpy Old Radio Hour. This has been Whitebeard versus the Holy Church, sponsored by Mikey's Peanut Crackers. If you need your peanuts cracked, Mikey will do it for you. Give a big round of applause to our Foley artist, Philip Bernhardt. Make a modicum amount of noise for the narrator, Brian Scribner. And loud applause and raucous cheers for your characters for the evening, Dave Van Kirk. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us for Grumpy Old Radio Hour. Stay tuned for our next episode, coming soon to a radio near you.